MK. How does your hair look?
My hair is okay. Okay. So, and of course, Sammy's here as well.
Yes.
So, well, Sammy wanted me to share a couple jokes, but while we wait for people to get on here. What was that? Oh, really? Okay. So, what do your okay?
Hi, Sean.
Sean, we're just killing time here for people to join, for you guys that are joining. All right. So, what does a dog and your cell phone have in common? They both have caller ID. That was a pretty good one.
That was good, honey.
Okay, the other one? Really, that one? Okay. So when you cross a dog with a calculator, what do you get?
When you cross a dog with a calculator.
You get a friend you can count on.
Those are good ones, honey.
It's amazing what you can find on the internet. Yes.
So welcome back to MK Quilts, you guys. We actually are doing this a little bit different today. I don't know if you can tell really, but Paul and I are just sitting here on a couple of chairs with the dog, and this was kind of my idea. Of course, Paul was like, but what we kind of wanted to do today, again, because we have new people on the page and people who maybe are just hearing about us, finding out about us from different avenues, I kind of wanted to take an opportunity to just sit and have a chat, and I'm kind of billing this as the story of us. Like, how is it that we got together? How is it that we landed in Florida? You know, where are we going with this thing? And just keep it a little bit lighter today instead of, you know, some of the stuff that we've done in the past. We do have a few announcements at the end, but
and you can ask questions.
Yeah.
We've got Ellen sitting over there. She will take the questions down, so we won't focus on all this stuff scrolling by here. But so it might be delayed. Give it another minute, but put them down now if you have questions, and we can try and answer them at our Q&A phase.
Oh, so Melinda Carroll is there. That's awesome. Well, we want to mention that about our text later on.
Yes.
Hi, Patricia.
From France.
Patricia, I'm not ignoring you. I will private message you back, and I will think about going to Houston again this year. I can't commit right now, but we have so much going on. We actually may be having an event. Something that we're planning, but never say never. Okay, so let's go ahead and get going. And again, if you have questions you want to ask, Ellen's over there kind of monitoring what's going on. Okay, so what I thought we would do is talk a little bit about like where we grew up and just kind of a little bit about our background. So we're both born and raised in Minnesota. Yeah, sure. And I'm kind of a small town girl, and Paul was my city boy, right?
Can we tell him the whole story about how we met?
Yes, that's what, yes.
Okay.
So I was born and raised in a very small town in central Minnesota, population of a couple thousand, one traffic light, you know, everybody knows everybody kind of a town. I lived in the town portion. All of my friends pretty much lived on farms around the area. Paul, what about you?
Well, I was growing up in St. Paul, you know, the capital, though Minneapolis gets all the press there. I had two older brothers and one younger sister who I always thought she was older than me, but we won't go there. I think I've had enough counseling on that one. It was so cold that I either became a hockey player and I decided to become a computer nerd instead. So that's where I got my start on the very early computers. And fortunately, when I started getting a job right out of school, I started looking for a girlfriend. Let's just be honest. I was pretty lonely at the time. So,
oh, poor Paul.
and you can tell how just amazingly talented I am at communicating. So I resorted to going to a Dies Meet People. This is before internet, before, well, we had some conference line dating type, but anyways.
Yeah, so for me growing up, I was kind of a band geek. I know I've mentioned many times before that I'm a musician. You've heard me play my flute on my YouTube channel. I did some volleyball and whatnot in high school. But I did learn how to sew in home economics class in high school. So that was my early days. I went to a vocational technical school right out of high school, and I was in like a word processing, talk about early computers. So the program that I did when I was in VOTech was like these, what were they,
Big
amber?
floppy.
Yeah, they were amber screen computers, and like you had to put drives in and out to do spell check and stuff
Little floppy, big floppy disks, like 8-inch floppies.
Yeah. But one of the things that Paul has always been amazed at me is how fast I type. Even some of you maybe who have like chatted with me, is I type really fast. That was what I did back in the day. I was a word processing operator, and I could type like over 100 words a minute. Ellen has her hand raised.
We have a question.
We have a question. Okay.
Sherry wants to know if you had a Dairy Queen growing up.
Did we have a Dairy? Okay, Minnesota. Okay.
I think Dairy Queens are headquartered in Minnesota, aren't they?
Well, I know every exit on any highway is a Dairy Queen. And they're open in the winter, most of them.
Yeah, so actually in my I was telling you about my small hometown. We didn't have, we had a small downtown area where we had some cafes type of things, but then we did get a home family type of a restaurant, was called Gino's. But then when Dairy Queen came to town, oh my gosh, we were getting a phone call. But yes, we did have Dairy Queens, and it's funny, down here in Florida, there's not that many
I would
around.
be 300 pounds if they were any closer than they are right now. I will tell you that, because I love my blizzards.
So that's just a little bit about our early years. But yes, we did meet. What?
I'm just making sure you finished the
my list?
The meet people
Yeah,
thing.
so how did we meet? We did meet through a personal ad, so way before internet dating. And really how I always tell the story is one of my coworkers, I was working at a bank in downtown St. Paul. She had met her husband through one of these personal ads. So we would always read the personal ads at lunchtime.
And laugh at them.
And laugh at them, kind of. And then they dared me to do it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? No way. I'm not going to do that. And then I just was like, well, what have I got to lose?
Well,
Todd. I had to lose Todd.
You had to lose Todd. That's for another time. We have way too much to tell. But
yes,
she did dump me to go back to her old boyfriend for a while before she settled down and realized what a winner I was.
Yes, and actually, one of the things so many of you comment all the time about how much Paul loves on Samson, and these two are so tight. But I will tell you, one of the things that I first fell in love with Paul was that he was just an animal lover. He's always been an animal lover, and over the years, we have taken in so many strays and, helped out this dog and that dog, and oh, no, I won't tell him that. But anyways, Paul's always been a dog lover, so we fit together well for that. So that's some of the early years. Well, how did we end up in Florida, Paul?
Well, my boss stuck his head over the cubicle. I worked for Honeywell at the time, avionics division. I'd transitioned into the computer nerd from the electronics side, so I'm a good technician because I started out working on the actual machinery and things. Then I got into the computer side of stuff, and it must have been December, January.
Dead of winter.
It might have been January. Anyways, he goes, anyone want to move to Florida? They've got a position opened up down there. So short story is I picked up the phone. Melissa's at work, and she's looking out her skyscraper window at the snow coming down. And I think she said yes very quickly. So
Yeah, so we moved here in the summer of '94, so it's just 25 years this July since we've been here in Florida. So how did we get into this quilting gig? How did that happen? Well, I mentioned that I learned how to sew in high school, and then after we moved to Florida, my mom and dad came for a visit, and my mom said, let's make a quilt this weekend. And I was like, what? Okay, it's your vacation. If you want to make a quilt, we'll do it. And so that's what we did that very first trip that my mom came for a visit. And we made a quilt, and pretty much, you guys, like, the rest is history. And I think I'm really like a lot of you in that I started out as a piecer. I started out by using a walking foot, right, to quilt my stuff. Let me just get this message off the screen. So I started out my quilting very, very simply. But as my skills in piecing, got better, I wanted my quilting to be better too. So I started sending my stuff out to be long-armed. And one thing led to another where eventually I was just like, I want to do this. But I had to convince him to let me buy a machine. And how about let him tell that story, because I tell it all the time. But let's see how he tells the story.
okay.
How did I get my first long
One,
arm?
I haven't been married 30 years saying no to you very often, so let's just start it out with that. But basically, she went to a quilt show, conference, whatever, and I get this phone call about blah, 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 machine, blah, blah, quilt, blah, 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 and finally I just said, honey, just buy the damn thing, and she slammed that phone down so hard.
Fast.
Well, it may have been a cell phone, but you get the idea. She was gone. And we squeezed her into one of the bedrooms when the Simply came? Simply
well,
16?
It was
or
called
was
the
it
HQ
at the time?
16.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, and so that was my first long arm. That's how I started doing paper pantographs. You guys, because you know that I still don't do like much free motion or anything. So I just started out doing paper pantographs.
And since I've been talking to customers, please don't be confused when Melissa's video says pantos. It's really
not a paper.
edge to edge. It's not paper. You really want to check out that first video,
Yeah.
all you new people.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So, but I had very humble beginnings in a bedroom with my little machine and doing paper pantographs. And I added on the Pro Stitcher. And really in the beginning, I was very self-taught. My dealer was far away. And, that was Pro Stitcher. I think they're calling it Classic. So, I mean, compared to what we have now, you guys, it was like caveman days. I mean, seriously. But I've pretty much been self-taught along the way. Eventually kind of YouTube, and there was some videos. Handy Quilter started coming out with their early videos. Vicki Hoth, God bless her for being the trailblazer with the videos. And then eventually it was Paul's idea, more on the tech side of things, for me to start my YouTube channel. And if you go back to some of those early YouTubes of mine, oh my gosh, they are pretty rough. Yeah.
Rough.
But, we leave those up there because it kind of shows us how far we've come. And it's, some of that content is still, I know there's some of you, they're still using standard. I can't understand why, but it's okay. I still love you. But
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, right. So that was really kind of how that started. And as I fell more and more in love with Pro Stitcher, I just continued to fine-tune my skills. And, I've mentioned it, I think, many times before, that it was really a turning point for me when I went to Academy at Handy Quilter. And Academy is going to be coming up next month out in Salt Lake City. And ever since I went, I've been always very positive about encouraging you to go. If I know it's a chunk of money and it's, you have to get yourself there and get a room and take the classes and pay for all of that, but it was really a turning point for me, and I really came out of that on fire to share how far I had come, new things that I had learned with all of you. And that's when I started this group and it was on a weekend, on a Saturday. I started it in the morning, and by the afternoon, early evening, I had 150 people. Do we have another question?
Nope, you're good.
No,
Okay.
okay.
Someone's really happy.
Okay.
Yeah, Gay was just mentioning that she's happy to know that you started where they're all starting. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you guys, for sure. So that's when I started also doing my traveling. So it's just been 3 years since I really started connecting with many of you and just asking you, would you be willing to host me? Would you be willing to help me talk to a shop, or, just do that? Because what really happened with me, you guys, is I kind of thought maybe I wanted to go down the educator track with Handy Quilter, and that just didn't seem to be a good fit for me because I really wanted to focus on Pro Stitcher. You guys know how much I love it. And so I just decided to stay on the freelance track. And so many of you, I want to thank, just as I'm thinking about it, I want to thank my friends Cheryl and Pam out there in the Spokane area who had me. I taught out there, was one of my first gigs that I ever did. And then it just kept, people kept reaching out, and it just kept growing, and more people wanted me. And now I'm I have to have Ellen to help me just keep the machines running and quilts coming in, because I'm pretty much on the road all the time now, right?
Right. I just read the comment, does Sam ever walk? And he does get his walks. I'm glad you're alive. Yes.
So, when we moved to Minnesota, or moved from Minnesota here 25 years ago, we had 2 dogs at the time. And they came with us in the belly of the plane, those poor Dusty and Sadie. And they were our dogs they lived each, I think, until about age of 14 or 15. And when they died, we were 5 years without a dog. And I was the one who wanted another dog. And Paul was a clear no. He was an absolute no to getting a dog.
There is an app you can get for your phone that says no in 9 different ways. It's really, really cool.
But you okay? You need some water? You good? So again, as I started to do all of this teaching and whatnot, I really found it's very ingrained it's a passion of mine, a very deep passion, and I love going out and sharing with you. The retailership came just as kind of a conversation that we were having with Handy Quilter, and they said, we think you guys would be great retailers. And I'm just like, I'm not a salesperson. I say that in some of my sim sessions, and they're like, oh, Melissa, you're a salesperson. But I think I'm a salesperson in that I love the product. I mean, I use the product. I'm not just out there saying you should buy this with some, theoretical reason why. I say you should buy it because I love it, and it's a great product, and I can help you learn that Pro Stitcher, right? So it just kind of happened.
Yeah, so I think that how we started is important to understand where we are. I mean, we did not plan to be where we are.
Not at all.
There obviously has been a great need for good service out there, and that's what it sort of built on in the end. Now, we won't lie, selling the machines gives us some of the income so we can grow and bring on new people to do things and things. So yes, the sales side of it, and especially with the machines, if you can possibly get to your friends before they go to someone else to buy the machines, it helps us out greatly. But our focus is still on content, training, support. I mean, I'm on the phone with 6 people a day just helping with basic stuff. We really do see that that's what we do different. It's all focused on the support side. So anytime you see our business cards, everything else, it's always service, support, and sales. We're not going to be focusing on the sales up front because we know you guys are going to keep talking about us and good things happen. And that's really how we want to run the business. And we've just gotten good story after good story.
And I have been reaching out to some of you just recently as you're chattering about us and tagging us in posts and encouraging people to contact us. We are looking to build out our website a little bit more in maybe a little bit different way, and highlight some of these things that you say about us so that we can so that we can reach people and they can really have a sense that this isn't just us saying that we're great. This is you all saying that we're great, and we're so humbled and thankful for that. So we may be looking to ask permission to post some of what you've said or your feedback on our page in a different new way.
So this would be a good time to talk about I finally convinced my older brother, who has a big business background, very marketing focused, understands Google and all of this. Just the last couple evenings we've been talking, and he has his own life. But he's starting to see that what we're building really has great potential to make a lot of people successful. So you may be seeing more on the Google ads. We're going to be doing a lot more from the marketing standpoint. So he's basically going to be our VP of marketing going forward, Mark from marketing.
Yes.
But here again, hiring a family member is not just because he's a family member. He's very skilled. We have a lot of people, great character, and then we find out that they have lots of skills, and they're just blessings that have come on. And people are going beyond what their job description is all the time and really contributing to our success.
There's
so
a lot.
We appreciate it.
There's a lot going on now behind the scenes that you don't see. I do my posts, and Ellen and I post pictures, and we have the beautiful quilts here, and that's, this is my happy space. I love that. But now there's shipping going on, and there's, web work going on, and there's zippers being made, and I'm starting to work now on new content, and we've planned this owner's retreat for next spring. And we get up in the morning, and it's like full on every day, just focused on MK Quilts, but I love it, and I hope that shows.
Some of us get up a little earlier than others. Okay.
I'm going to tell him how you cried the first time if you do secrets
My
like
dog died. That's the first time she saw me cry. I thought she was going there before, but
yeah.
Yes, and I will cry
But,
when Sammy dies too, right?
So
Just don't do it.
I wanted to do this today just as kind of a way to step back from some of the things that we do on live feeds a lot, or we have this promotion, buy this is new, what is Handy Quilter got going on? And all of that obviously is important, and we will continue to focus on that. But we wanted to just kind of step back, at least I did. It was kind of my brainchild to just step back and show you again that we're just a couple. We're been married 30 years this year, and we found our way to this business that we both love now. And I'm so happy Paul has, without me even asking or whatever, he tells me that he enjoys what he does. And he was in the IT field for a long time, and sometimes he enjoyed it and sometimes it wasn't great. But now we can work together, and we really love it. And, Paul mentioned that we're moving in a new way with some marketing ideas that we have online. We are both really still committed to making our business be community focused and to be relationship focused. We want to build relationships with you so that you feel comfortable with us, and when you're ready to make that big decision, that purchase, that you feel like we're not going to leave you out there. We're your friend, and we want to be your friend and your retailer.
Ellen, can you bring me a flyer? One of the trifold flyers? Okay. So to build on that, I just want to mention two people.
Oh, they're they're in a little box on the floor. I think I moved them.
It's over in the tray right in front of you there, on the bottom green tray there to the left? Or there? No, there it is. Okay. Sorry. Chaos.
I moved it.
But, we are two people. But I want to mention
you,
a couple
Ellen.
of our rock star technicians just this week. Chip Domke out in Oregon. We got a great letter from one of the people that he's gone out there and serviced and worked to really, get a person that isn't our customer is now our customer, because we've affiliated with these good people that have the great similar values, and they're doing a great job out there. So rock star out there. Thank you, Chip. And right now, Carol Albrecht from Wisconsin is traveling up there through
to Michigan and
Illinois,
Indiana.
Michigan, Indiana on a road trip for us, because if you buy a machine from us and you're not in Tampa area, obviously we have to come to you if there's a warranty issue. And we had a machine that had a problem with the lighting system. We couldn't fix it first time out. So we got one of our techs to go out, and she did an excellent job. It wasn't easy. You know, when you have a board or something go out, you got to open up the machine. But here again, we have great people. And to point out, Carol, she's a quilter. You know, she is probably going to be one of our Melissa clones before too long as well. But I mean, it's just, I'm amazed with how we've been blessed with really excellent people. You know, we're not rushing in to add a lot of people, but part of our interview process is just, are they the right character people that you'd want to walk in your door, and that you could trust and that you could be friends with? And that's the type of community we're trying to set up. So Carol, great job. I know you're dealing with a stripped nut on one of the machines. You know, some of these old machines, the nuts get jammed up and things. So it's hard being a technician, but we've got good people out there, and they're getting
and
good
this
reviews.
is not to leave out any of our other techs.
Nope.
I know that we just talked to Tammy. Tammy's our tech up in the Virginia area, but she's going to be in another place, in another location. I won't reveal it right now until her and I nail that down. But the point of it is that these people that we've brought on are getting out there, and they're affiliates with us, and they're extensions of what we believe in, and they're out there to help you. So be always watching for them if they're going to be in your area, and check them out on our website so that if you need something and they're in your area, you can reach out. Okay, so, and we have the flyers. We talked about them last week. There's a spot in there for the referral. Paul, you want to talk about that just a little bit extra?
Yeah, so down here at the bottom, and actually on the inside, it talks about the referral program a little bit. Really, it's just us being able to thank you guys for talking about us. And we don't mind, you know, sharing and, you know, giving back when you're the one who introduced us to someone new that ends up buying one of our machines from us. If you have guilds to go to, please just send me an email, catch me online. I will send you as many of these via the mail, and you can pass them out, whether you put your name on the bottom or not. It would be greatly appreciated, because there are people that don't do the internet, obviously, and this is really the only print avenue we have right now to reach out to those people.
Yes, and so just, you know, obviously this is the sim group, this is the pro stitcher side of things that I'm coming to you in, but we have all of these other things going on here. We can have new clients send quilts that Ellen can quilt, that I can quilt when I'm in town. You know, we've got the technician side of things now. We've obviously got the machine sales and the training events and just fun things. So the flyers cover a lot of people in the industry, okay, friends of yours. So we absolutely thank you for helping us be the little marketing legs out there in your community. So thank you very much for that. Okay, so that's that was the first side of the paper, was just the story of us, and just letting you know how we got here and what we're doing and kind of where we're going. And I did write down a few little follow-up items. We already talked about the techs. We did book our owner's event for next spring, so that is money down. Hotel has been rented, and we really are going to have one night that's kind of an open house. Come meet our owners. We'll have a couple of machines set up for local people who might want to come in and consider buying a machine. But for the most part, we are really building this event around machine owners, people who have bought their systems from us. I'm developing new content. I've got Ellen working on stuff. I haven't talked to her mom yet, so Sandy, if you're watching, expect a phone call from me. But we really want to show our owners how much we appreciate them, give them good content, and give them a place to come in the stinking winter time to have some fun. So the point of it is, let's get you on board and become an owner, and come and join us in March of 2020 for that. Let's see. Right now the Little Buddy system had been on promotion, introductory pricing, kind of show pricing with Handy Quilter, and I think that might be coming to a close. So if any of you are watching and you want to grab that system, or you know somebody that does, we still have it for sale, on sale, reduced pricing on our website.
And free shipping, but that is definitely ending here
Yes.
at the end of the month.
And I have zippers now made for my little buddy system. Ellen is going to help me do video for loading. I'm not sure we'll get that in before I leave town next week, but I am going to do a loading video for little buddy, and we've got the hand crank on there now and everything. So keep watching for that if that interests you. And then I just did a little tip of the week this week. I promised you that tip of the week sometimes would be Pro Stitcher focused, and sometimes it would just be how I quilt here in the studio. So what I did today was just a little clip of how a tip for using the glide foot and some things at the machine. So watch for that. I'll get that edited up and put out before the weekend.
All right, and we also have the newsletter going out hopefully by this weekend here. We try and get it out at the start of the month and maybe have one other. So obviously if you aren't signed up, sign up for that. Go to the front page, find where it says newsletter and sign up.
And there will be a new Handy Quilter promotion coming out for June. It's going to be a good one, so I think we can probably announce that next week. So
can we put in the newsletter if it's June 1st?
We'll check.
Check.
But it's going to be a good one. It's kind of a repeat promotion they're going to be doing in June, and it's a good one. So yeah, it's always a good time to buy a machine.
All right, so we always try and make the newsletter a little bit of a useful tool and not a sales product. So we will be sharing stuff in there. I've got a few extra tech comments to make. We just have so much going on. I need to get back to that as
and
well.
my he has been after me to finish my online class, my whole cloth. Excuse me. I worked on it all day on Memorial Day, and I still have a bit to do. You guys, I know you've been waiting. I know you're anxious for it. When it does come out, it's going to be like a mini series. I'm telling you. It's going to be kind of long, but there's a lot crammed in there. I take you all the way from the beginning, how I approached the layout in simulation. There's a little bit of art and stitch in there, how I did some things with that. I did a whole load of videoing when I was stitching it, giving you all kinds of tips about how to align things, how to position things, start and stops, and I mean all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a really loaded, packed class, but I just need to get some more focus time to get that done for you guys.
And I've ordered 100 additional USB sticks because I know
people are going to
want this one pretty fast, and so we'll be prepared to ship them out as well.
So you guys, thank you so much. I've been watching the numbers on the screen, and you guys, a lot of you just stuck with us today for this kind of different, a bit different than we've done in the past. But thank you so much for being followers. Thank you for all your support. For those of you who chatter about us and all of that, we sincerely thank you from the bottom of our heart. Get some of these into your hands and get those out to people so that they can have something tangible to contact us. And
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Linnell, did we miss anything over there that needs to be
That's
brought
Ellen,
up?
not
Ellen? Linnell?
Linnell's our contact out at Handy Quilter.
Oh, sorry. That's how my brain flip-flops. She deals with it.
I think the only one was Linda wants to know, are there any techs in California?
Are there any techs in California?
Closest
Not
would
yet.
be Chip.
Well, Chip is in Oregon, and then we have Arizona, Tucson.
Oh, that's
that
right.
They travel with their
So speaking
SUV.
of California, I'm going to be out there in January, and maybe that's an area that we do need to look at getting somebody out there.
The West Coast is a focus of us. As soon as we get a couple machines right in the heart of California there and things, I'm sure we're going to come across a spouse or a well-qualified quilter that also wants to be able to do the certified technology route. Things just happen, so definitely talk about us to your friends in California, and things will happen by next year.
What about Texas?
Well, we have an owner in Texas. We don't have a tech. I guess that would be Dave and Nancy would be, again, probably the closest.
Yeah, Dave and Nancy were talking about, and what about Washington State? So
you guys want us to grow faster than we can probably keep up, but
okay. We'll repost the map where they are. I mean, we've added some. We started out with 6 or 7 additional people and got them around the country to start. I have a list of people that have applied at various points, but we're just finishing up getting some of the process around it. We have a good core group. We've set up an infrastructure so that we can share information, build our own knowledge base. Even though these are independent people, we support each other. And so we're doing a lot of things to put the infrastructure in place. But I do expect that, other than calling Handy Quilter, that MK Quilts will be the de facto support organization for Pro Stitcher at least, and these any machine with Pro Stitcher going into next year. So that's my goal, is really there won't be anybody else. You won't need to talk about anybody else.
And just as he was talking about the locations, we did want to mention our newest person that's come on with us is in North Georgia. And he's done a couple of things for us, just a bit of training with Paul. He's going to go and get certified later this year from Handy Quilter. So we have to, we have to all work that always together too, because we do need them to be certified with Handy Quilter and connected with us.
And he has already had baby lock training, and we don't talk a lot about the OEM baby lock and other machines out there, but our technicians will not turn you away. They can work on other machines, and they'll tell you when they can't. Warranty jobs, they have to go through your dealer, things like that. But I don't know if Chip's person was a baby lock. I think it may have even been a baby lock that she had been working on, or he had been working on. So don't be afraid if you don't have a Handy Quilter and you're just following along wishing you did until you get one. Talk to our technicians, talk to us. We will try and give you support if your current retailer has disappeared or is just not living up to expectations. So
okay, well, we've been talking a long time. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. And I'm going to be on the road next week, so I'm not sure about live feed next week. Sometimes I like to just come live from places where I am around the country. I'm really excited to get out to Reno and Tahoe area next week, out to Washington State. So that's where I'm going to be the next couple of weeks. Okay, so stay tuned. We'll do what we can for live feed. I'll do what I can for tip of the week. And we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And until next time, from our studio to yours, happy quilting. Bye-bye.
say bye, Sammy. Let me go.